Okay, now we got factor the polynomial by grouping. So remember, we got to focus on the first two terms and then the last two. So the first two, what can I factor out? Looks like I can take out 16, and then the smallest exponent of v is v squared. So I got 16v squared, and then I imagine multiplying back in. What needs to be here to get this term? 16v squared times what is 16v to the third? Well, I just need v, right? Think about it again. 16v squared times v, is that 16v to the third? Yeah, right? And then plus, what do I get when I factor out 16v squared from 16v squared? 1. And then for this one, if I see a minus here, it's automatically going to be that I have to factor out a minus here. And then what I have in common between 15v and minus 15 is 15. And then it's just going to be v. Negative 15 times v is negative 15v. Negative 15 times what is negative 15? Well, that's just 1. Right? Positive 1. And remember, these are supposed to be the same, right? So factored form is going to be v plus 1 times 16v squared minus 15. All right, let's see. Divide using long division. We're not going to use long division. We're going to use synthetic division. All right, so here we go. We're going to divide it by x plus 7, so that means we need a negative 7 up in the corner. And then we use the coefficient 6, negative 5, and 10. First, bring down the 6, and then multiply. Negative 7 times 6 is negative 42. Negative 42 plus negative 5 is negative 47. Negative 7 times negative 47, what is that? (47) times 7 is 329. And then plus 10 is 339. And then, so these are the coefficients of my answer, right? And I start at 1 degree less than what I started with. So 6x minus 47 plus 339 over x plus 7, right? Over the x plus 7 that we divided by. Because the remainder is 339. All right, these determine which is a factor of the following polynomial. So to determine if this is a factor, I'm going to plug in, I'm going to find f of 3. To determine if this is a factor, I'm going to find f of 1, right? Always opposite sign. To determine if this is a factor, I'm going to find f of 4. To determine if this is a factor, I'm going to find f of 2. So I'm going to plug in 3 into this equation. Let's see. 3 to the 4th plus 5 times 3 to the 3rd. So just to give you an idea, you might have already started this one, and you can use synthetic division also. So I'm going to show you with synthetic division too. So 5 times 3 to the 3rd minus 3 squared, right? I'm just plugging it in here. Minus 17 times 3 plus 12. 12. Now if we use our calculator for that, let's see if we get 0. And it looks like I get negative 102 for that, so it's not a factor. Nope. All right, let's plug in 1. 1 to the 4th plus 5 times 1 to the 3rd minus 1 to the 2nd minus 17 times 1 plus 12. Let's see. And I get 0 for this one. So that one works. So I'm just going to use that shortcut in the calculator where you can highlight it and redo the function. And just plug in the other ones just to check real quick. So I'm plugging in 4, just replacing all my 1s with 4, and I get 504. And then if I do that same thing and just replace all the 4s with 2s, you guys remember what I'm talking about, that shortcut I showed you in the calculator? Yep, I get 30. So I get 504 when I plug in this one, and I get 30 when I plug in this one. So that is my 0. State which are roots of the following polynomial. So roots are the same things as 0. So if I plug in negative 1/2 into the equation, 2 times negative 1/2 to the 3rd minus 5 times negative 1/2 minus 3. What do I get? 2 times negative 1 divided by 2 to the 3rd minus 5 times negative 1 divided by 2 minus 3. is negative 0.75. So that's a no. Plug in 3. 2 times 3 to the third minus 5 times 3. And we're hoping to get 0. Remember, roots are whenever we plug it in and we get 0. So 2 times 3 to the third minus 5 times 3 minus 3. 36. So that's a no. And then same thing for 2. I'm going to use my shortcut. Just replace the 3 with 2. And I get 3. 2 times 2 to the third minus 5 times 2 minus 3 equals 3, so that's a no. And then when I plug in negative 1, to the third minus 5 times negative 1, and I get 0 finally when I plug in negative 1, so that's a yes. Which of the following is the factored form of the simplest function if of the given zeros? Well, if negative 3i is a 0, then I should have x plus 3i and x minus 3i. Anytime we have imaginary numbers or square roots, we have to have both, no matter what. So automatically b is not it. So if 2 is a 0, I need to see x minus 2 in the factored form, and if 5 is a 0, I need to see x minus 5. Because if you imagine plugging this in, 2 minus 2, that's what gives you 0. 5 minus 5, that's what gives you 0. So 2 is a 0 and 5 is a 0. A. Okay, practice performance task. So this says, for each of the following equalities and inequalities, find 2 values for x that make the statement true. Hint, guess and check, or a calculator may help. So find 2 values for x that make the statement true. So x squared equals 144. What number squared is 144? Well, that's 12, right? 12 squared is 144. 12. What's the other one? It can only be 12 no matter what, right? But the other one would be negative 12. Yeah? Negative 12 times negative 12 is 144. All right, the next one, x squared equals x. I want you to think about this one for a second. X squared equals x. What number squared also equals that same number? Well, 1 is one of them, right? 1 squared equals 1. What's another one? It's kind of just as simple as 1. 0, right? 0 squared equals 0. 0 times 0 is 0. All right, now this one, x squared is less than x. X squared is less than x. Let's see, something squared is less than that number itself. Well, the only thing that I can think of that would do that is if I had a fraction. Like if I did 1/2 squared, 1/2 squared is less than 1/2, because 1/2 times 1/2 is 1/4, right? 1/4 is less than 1/2. If we have like a whole of something and we only have 1/4, that's less than a whole of something and having a half, right? So whenever we multiply decimals to itself, or a number less than 0, when we multiply by it, it makes the number smaller. So like 1/2 is 1. I want you to get the other one. What's another one? It can be any fraction, all right? Any fraction. Okay, the next one, x times x squared minus 8x plus 15 equals 0. We have to find 2 values of x that make that true. Well, the first one is going to be x equals 0, right? Because if this is 0, then it makes the whole thing 0. Now we have to find some from here. X squared minus 8x plus 15. Well, we have to factor that. What multiplies to 15 and adds to negative 8? 5 and 3. Negative 5 and negative 3. So that means factored form is x minus 5 times x minus 3. So this is what the whole equation looks like. So my zeros are x equals 0, and then what would the 0 here be? 5, right? And the 0 here? 3. Yeah, we'll just put 5. 5. Because it only wants one more. 5. We'll just put 5 and 3, just because we know both of them. Alright, 2.5 times x minus 7.5 is greater than or equal to 20. Well, let's just solve for x. Plus 7.5 plus 7.5. 2.5x is greater than or equal to 27.5. And then divide by 2.5. Divide by 2.5. X is greater than or equal to 27.5 divided by 2.5. 11. X is greater than or equal to 11. Two numbers greater than or equal to 11. 11 is one of them. What's another one? You put it. What's a number greater than 11? That's what you put. Try it out. You know a number greater than 11. Any number greater than 11. You choose. Okay, this one. So two values where when we plug it in, it's true. X squared is greater than x to the third. X squared is greater than x to the third. Well, I know that whenever I plug in a negative number into an x to the third, it gives me a negative number. So if I did like -1 squared, let's see if this is true. -1 squared is -1 times -1. That's +1. +1 is greater than -1 times -1 times -1. Right? That's -1. Let's do a different one. -2. If I do -2 squared, is that greater than -2 to the third? -2 squared is -2 times -2, which is +4. Is that greater than -2 times -2 times -2? That's -8, right? Having $4 is better than having -8. So plugging in -2 works, and then you choose another one. It's any negative number. Any negative number squared is going to be greater than that negative number to the third, because negative numbers to the third are negative. They're going to be small. Okay, absolute value of x is equal to x. Absolute value, anything that's inside of the absolute value comes out positive, right? So if I did like -2, absolute value of -2, what would that be? +2, right? Absolute value of -2 is +2. So that wouldn't work. So basically any positive number, like absolute value of 3 equals 3, that works. Any positive number. So you give me another one. Any positive number. All right, some of these equations and inequalities on the previous page have exactly 2 solutions, and others have more solutions. Write down 2 equations or inequalities from the previous page that have exactly 2 solutions. So 2 that have exactly 2 solutions would be like this one, A and B have exactly 2 solutions, 12 and -12, and also 1 and 0. Oops, so it was x squared equals 144. And also x squared equals x. Was that right? X squared equals x was A and B? Yeah. So there's only 2 solutions for those. But all of the other ones, so there are only 2 numbers that work for A and B. But I want you to come up with what are the ones that have multiple, right? All of the ones that I put a box on it are the ones that could have multiple solutions, like more than 2 solutions, right? So this one would be any negative number for F. Any negative number would work for F. And this one, any positive number would work for G. All right, so this one has more than, these 2 have more than 2 solutions. And that's why. For B, write down any one equation or inequality from the previous page that has more than 2 solutions. So you can choose one of them that I just talked about. You can choose either F or G. You choose, okay? And explain. So that's not the answer. You have to choose. Write down 2 equations or inequalities from the previous page that have an infinite number of solutions. How do you know? Okay, choose the other one. So whatever one you chose here, if you chose F here, choose G. And explain to me why it has an infinite number of solutions, okay? All right, you guys, you got this. Try it out. I'll see you on Tuesday.